My tips for driving anxiety, whether you're the driver or you're in the car. Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel, or if you're new, my name is Roos, my pronouns are she, her, and today we're going to talk about driving anxiety. If you are here from the bikini video, hello! I am working on a follow-up. I've been ordering some hopefully good, sustainable fitting bikinis, but that takes a while to get here, so stay tuned for that. And if you're here for houseplants, feel free to skip this video if you don't have driving anxiety, of course. Next Wednesday, I do have a very fun unboxing planned with amazing plants from Indonesia. So first of all, I am not a medical professional or a mental health professional. I have had therapy for this. I've had PTSD from a driving accident where I drove my car into the water and had to rescue myself. And the therapy that I've had for that has been so helpful. I've had EMDR therapy as well for that specific accident. And for me, it worked really well. So I definitely recommend getting actual help from a medical professional or like a specialist in this field. For me, it's been really helpful. So the tips that I'm going to share with you are things that have worked for me. First of all, start small. Don't go straight for a long trip. And it also helps, for me at least, to do routes that I'm familiar with until I'm a little bit more comfortable again in the car. And if you have driving anxiety from sitting in the car next to your partner, which I've also had a lot, especially while I was in treatment, my poor boyfriend had to deal with me being like super scared and crying sometimes. So some of these tips are definitely helpful for that as well. Let's start from the beginning. Before I go, there are a few things that I like to do. One, put on comfy clothes and good shoes to drive with. And then also, I make sure to eat before I go. And I don't normally eat breakfast, but before I go driving, I definitely do. That nervous feeling that I can get seems to become stronger when my stomach is also empty. If you get nauseous, then maybe rethink this tip, but for me it definitely helps. I make sure to eat something. And I leave really early so I don't have to rush ever. Even if there are delays, I don't have to rush. Oh, and these tips are super ADHD, coming one after the other, not very organized. I hope you're still with me. So I plan my trip in advance. I make sure I leave early enough, and I have planned where I'm gonna park. If you're in the US, this might be a little bit different, but here in Europe, especially in the big cities, it can be really difficult to find parking. So usually I actually take a train to like Amsterdam or Utrecht when I have to go to a city center. So I make sure that I know that there is a parking, and then I make my route, my Google Maps route, to go to the parking and not to the actual address. Because I've had a few times that I've made it to the place, finally, and then I'm like, I'm on a big road and I don't see any parking, and it gets extra stressful, especially because it is at the end of your trip. And for me, the longer I go, the worse it can get. So for me, it was really helpful to know this parking is there, I can get there, and then we're safe. I'd rather pay a little bit more for the parking as well. Parking here can be quite expensive, but I'd rather pay more and be like 20 minutes early, which I've done, than to stress and be late and not know where the parking is. Okay, this is the next tip also, but it also works for today because I'm a little bit hyper, I'm noticing. Deep breaths. Of course, I am a yoga teacher and deep breaths are always good, but especially while you're driving, if there's something stressful, deep breaths. Also, I'm noticing as I'm imagining it, I often grip onto the steering wheel quite a lot. So as you do the breaths, try and relax, not let go of the wheel, of course, but relax the muscles as much as you can so that you're sitting comfortably and not holding on for dear life. For me, while I'm driving and while I'm in the anxiety, it is actually really hard to remember to breathe. So what I found that works is to put on a playlist before I go, of course, not while I'm driving because that is just too stressful and scary, but a playlist that I love the songs of that I know I will sing along. Because when you're singing, you're exhaling, so you need to inhale again, and it stimulates your body to breathe. So it's a little trick that I found really works because one, it's really cheerful, happy music, so it can help us distract a little bit from all the scary thoughts, but also it literally pushes our body to breathe. And when I'm in the full anxiety, I stop breathing. I'm holding on for dear life with my hands, with my breath, with everything, with my eyeballs. So it really helps to let go. Music. I recommend Taylor Swift, but that's just my opinion. Okay, we have a few more tips. One is to plan your route in advance. I said that before already, but make it so that it is good for you. For example, if I go to Leiden, the city nearby, I used to be scared of going onto the highway. It's only a small piece, but it used to scare me. And there is a route that is just as long in time, but goes not on the highway. In the beginning, it felt so much better to drive on those roads, to become comfortable again in the car. It helped me for so long to just feel more confident in where I was going and less stressed. It's okay to do steps. You don't have to do the hardest thing right away. Even if you're on a short trip, it is okay to take breaks. So if you're feeling like it's too much for a little bit, I like to stop at a gas station and get a nice coffee. I don't drink coffee, I drink chai. So plan breaks if you feel like you need them. You can plan them beforehand to give you more bite-sized bits of the trip. But even if it's a short trip, you're allowed to stop. Even if you're just sitting in your car and taking a few deep breaths, it's allowed. We do what makes it work for us. And then lastly, what really helped me, especially when I also had the brain injury, which I'm still dealing with. If you don't know, in 2020, I fell and hit my head. Can you see my scar? Not really. There's a scar here. And unfortunately, that gave me a concussion that I'm still dealing with. It's called post-concussion syndrome, a brain injury that does heal, but it takes very long. Anything that was tiring before becomes extra tiring, especially for me at the moment, social situations, bright light or sounds, and driving my car. So the trick, hold on to something. I have this beautiful rock here, which is I forgot the name. It's the stone with like the beautiful colors in it. I hope you can see. Oh, why don't I know? Look at that! It's like turquoise and purpley, a little bit shimmery. I got this from my mom actually, and it is a perfect thing to hold on to. When you're holding on to a stone or something solid, preferably something natural like this, a beautiful stone, it can really help to ground you. This was actually a tip for any stress, also at home or when I'm in a social meeting. I had this in my pocket for a long time when I went to a plant shop even, because sometimes people would start to talk to me and it would be quite hard, and I would hold on to the stone and it helped me to be grounded. Another trick for this is to push your hands onto your thighs, but of course when you are the one driving, that is not recommended. Keep your hands on the steering wheel. But if you are the passenger, you can press your hands on your own legs. It helps you to ground, to be in the moment. One more thing that I really like to do, I actually brought a pillow like this on holiday with us to the UK last year because it was a road trip and I knew it was going to give me some stress. So while my boyfriend was driving, I would hold on to the pillow like this, and it just made me feel less anxious. This is a very nice Planty pillow. I got this from Green Philosophy. They are so soft. And you can also use it to take a nap, because if you are the passenger, you're allowed to take naps. And when you close your eyes, oh, that's one more tip. I'll come back to that. It can help to pass the time if it scares you. I did also use this trick, but that was in the height of my driving anxiety. When my boyfriend was driving, I would get so scared from the lights, especially driving at night for me, from the things that I would see or imagine shooting onto the road. I always have a lot of anxiety around animals because I love animals so much, and that really scares me. It definitely helped me as well to sometimes just close my eyes. And there's a balance that I've learned in therapy between hiding from your fear, which makes the fear stronger, or making a smart decision in that moment. So I definitely, like I said before, recommend going to therapy and getting help for this. The exposure that I got from going driving, even though it scared me, definitely helped to make the anxiety less. So that's how it works with fear. If you stay home because you're scared of driving, in your head it just becomes bigger and bigger, and our heads can create these crazy ideas. So when you do try it, it helps to lessen it, usually. For me at least, it's definitely become so much better. I actually recently drove myself to Amsterdam, which I hadn't done in a long time because it is, one, on the highways, motorways. Two, it is the busiest roads in the whole country. And then I had to go into the city as well to go to a meeting. Normally I would take the train there. wasn't possible on that day, and I did it by car, and it went so well. I was early, I knew where the parking was, I sat in my car for a while to ground, and I made it home safe. And I was really, really proud of myself for that. So that's what I'm hoping for you as well, to take little steps that make you feel proud again, and that you feel a little bit more confident in yourself again. That's it for my driving anxiety tips. If you have any other ones, please let me know in the comments so that others also can enjoy them. And if these were helpful, also please let me know. On Wednesday, I'll be back with another Planty video, and my plan is for the summer at least to post a yoga or self-love or something like this video every weekend as well. Thank you so much for watching. If you made it all the way here, good luck, you got this. Keep going, and happy growing doesn't make any sense here. Happy driving! Bye, friends!